Hello, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Wrestling Wrap-Up. I am your host, the Megastar Austin Savage. I'm taping this very early on Monday morning. I apologize to anybody who was looking for a show this weekend after Impact. Due to my work schedule, I couldn't make a video where I was going to bed early and getting up early in the morning to go to work. So I apologize for anybody that was looking forward to the show. I'm going to cover Impact, but I'm only going to cover the major developments. I mean, as everybody knows by now, and anybody that didn't know as of Thursday who watched the pay-per-view tonight knows, Matt Hardy's mystery partner was the returning Wildcat Chris Harris. And to me, this is very awesome because, one, I'm a huge fan of Wildcat Christopher Harris. And I'm glad to see him back in TNA, back home where he belongs, after his 100% bullshit run in the WWE as Braden Walker. I'll get into that more when I start talking about Sacrifice. Kurt Angle's business partner, as everybody knows, was revealed to be Chyna, the returning Chyna, making her Impact Wrestling debut. What was the other big piece of news? Oh yeah, the network guy being Mick Foley. Which, I mean, that's a great fit. It's a good way to get him back on TV. And for him to screw with Immortal even more. Alright, Sacrifice was last night. Good show. I thought it was a really good show. I enjoyed it. It was one of the better TNA shows in recent memory. And I would like to say that the name change from TNA Wrestling to Impact Wrestling was something that I welcome, because now, according to Mick Foley, wrestling matters, and tonight at the pay-per-view proved it. Mexican America versus Inc. I thought this was a good tag match. Typical heel work from Mexican America. They won with their heelish tactics, which, they're heels, that's what they do. Brian Kendrick versus Robbie E. Great X Division action. I think they really need to get back to the X Division. And the character Kendrick is playing is weird, but I'm kind of digging it. It kind of sets him apart from everybody else. Kendrick won, and I mean, he looked great in the match. So did Robbie E. Madison Rayne and Mickie James for the Knockouts title. And if Mickie James won, Tara was free. Long story short, great match. Tara turned on Madison, thus earning her freedom. X Division title match. Great X Division match. This is what the X Division is built on, fans. It really is. They had a great start to the match. A lot of chain wrestling, which you don't see a lot in the X Division. It's a lot of high spots and jumping around. And I mean, they did that too, but they kept it on the ground for the most part, showing that they can wrestle. It was a lot of good back and forth action, where, I mean, there were several points in the match where you felt either guy could win. What an awesome 450 splash by Max Buck in this match. If you didn't see the pay-per-view, get the replay, because it's incredible. It got the first This Is Wrestling chant of the pay-per-view, which was really cool. Kaz retained the title with a Shining Wizard, which I thought was kind of crafty of him to pull that out where he'd never really done it before. Abyss and Crimson. Am I the only one that's just really fucking tired of the whole undefeated... What's he had, like half a dozen matches on TV? We're not including house shows and dark matches and crap. How many matches has this guy had on TV and pay-per-view? And they're calling him undefeated. What does undefeated get you? Long-term TNA fans, what does being undefeated get you? Samoa Joe was undefeated for 18 months. How many world title matches did he get? None. He did not win the world title until he started losing matches. He was like a 3-time X Division champion, and he never lost a match. Because whenever he would lose it, it would be in a triple threat where he wasn't pinned. So that undefeated bullshit, it's done, it's tired, it's pointless. Until you're putting him undefeated into title matches. I mean, don't get me wrong, there was good action in this match. Abyss dominated for most of the match, which I was surprised by. Crimson made a small few flurries trying to get back into the match, but couldn't, and finally started mounting a comeback. Abyss chokeslammed him for a 2 count. Janice, Abyss's girl, the big board with all the nails running through it, made her return tonight. Crimson avoided contact with her, and speared Abyss for a 2 count. This match to me went very long. Crimson won with a sky-high powerbomb. Like, that's what they called it. That's not what I would call it. It's more like a spine buster to me, but whatever. Beer Money versus Matt Hardy and Wildcat Chris Harris. I was very excited about Chris Harris's return, like I said earlier in this video. Fans in the Impact Zone chanted Braden Walker, and to me that was both disrespectful and stupid. Braden Walker was not a character Chris Harris chose to play. It is what WWE lack of creative gave him. They put him on TV for 3 weeks, and they released him. Their fault, not his. Fans are stupid for punishing him and chanting Braden Walker. Because Chris Harris is not Braden Walker, he's Chris Harris. He's a 6-time World Tag Team Champion, and he deserves your respect. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was interesting to see Chris Harris wear the AMW jacket and trunks that said AMW on the back. Everybody that knows TNA and has followed it for, the last 5 or 6 years knows that when AMW broke up, Chris Harris had his own ring gear. It was white and, the main color was white, the jacket was white, and it had like red and yellow and some kind of orange on it, and it said Wildcat. So I don't understand why they did that. Maybe it's a little bit of foreshadowing, or maybe it was a way to bury the past. I don't know. It was a great match. To me, this was potentially match of the night. It was definitely the best tag team match of the night. Mike Tenay said that, in his opinion, Beer Money had surpassed AMW. Now, I only got a high school education in a small town, but, and correct me if I'm wrong, feel free, anybody. AMW were 6-time World Tag Team Champions. Beer Money are 4-time Tag Team Champions. Which number's bigger? Okay then. Let's move on. For being out of ring shape, Chris Harris to me looked really good. He looked crisp, and it could have been the fact that he's working with his former tag team partner and somebody who he has a lot of history with in Robert Roode, but he did look really good. There was a rough DDT from Storm to Harris, which I thought came off really good. Beer Money won this match, and I was actually talking to my wife last night about this, and I said to her, either way I think it's going to end with a death sentence. And that's sure enough what Beer Money did. They used the old AMW finisher to put away Chris Harris. 1, 2, 3, Beer Money retains the titles. I don't think this is over, although I do think if they're going to keep Harris around, I don't think he'll be with Immortal. I think he's going to go off on his own path and possibly join Fortune, believe it or not. He is a TNA original. And if him and Storm could bury the hatchet, him and Roode could get along, I think that would be a really good idea. AJ Styles and Tommy Dreamer, why was this match on pay-per-view? They've been building a feud between AJ and Bully Ray. This is just, I don't even know how to describe it, fans. I mean, Dreamer won with a pile driver through a table after Bully Ray comes out and hits AJ with a chain. AJ pretty much carried Dreamer through the entire match. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Anyways, I'm going to move on because I don't really have a lot to say about that match. Kurt Angle and Chyna versus Jeff and Karen Angle. At first, I thought this was a joke. And, I mean, for the most part, it was Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett in the ring. Chyna didn't really get in the ring until the end of the match. in which she puts Kurt Angle in an ankle lock and gets the submission. What was the point of bringing Chyna in for 2 nights? Last Thursday and Sunday night's pay-per-view. Are they keeping her around or what? I mean, where's she going to go from here? Although it would be interesting to see her get in the ring with Mickie James. I do think, however, she should start at the back of the line and not just get a title shot because she's a former women's champion. The world title match. This was a great match with back and forth action. Sting did his homework and counted a lot of vintage classic RVD moves. I was really impressed with that. RVD appeared to injure his foot and ankle, knee in that region, and it really affected him for the rest of the match. I mean, Sting and RVD, congratulations. You guys busted your asses for the fans in the main event for that pay-per-view. It was a really, really good match. I really enjoyed it. Best TNA main event match on a pay-per-view in probably a year. Well, with all due respect to the previous matches. Sting retained after Scorpion Death Drop, which they screwed up originally. So Sting got up, RVD got up. They did the finish again, 1, 2, 3. The mess up and the correction really didn't come off that bad. I was really impressed with that. In closing, I would just like to say that Thursday's Impact should be interesting. Now they know that it's going to be Anderson and Sting at Slammiversary. Impact Wrestling should be good on Thursday. They're finally starting to get it. Hogan and Bischoff, and I guess Russo's still on the writing team, are starting to build that momentum, starting to get better. We'll see where they go from here. I mean, Slammiversary is their anniversary show, so we'll see what happens. This is the Wrestling Wrap-Up. I am your host, the Megastar Austin Savage. Email the show, wrestlingwrapup@yahoo.com. Follow me on Twitter, @ProudToBeStraightEdge. I'll catch you guys probably after Raw, or maybe Tuesday night because I don't work Tuesday night. I'll maybe do a video then. Alright, I'll catch you guys after Raw.